going on, boys?
See the main man in the building.
PV, what's going on, brother?
How you doing?
Good, man. I'm doing great. Good to see you.
You too, man. I'm excited to do another.
I saw you were on the beach, man. You were walking with your $200 kicks.
I know, man. Our camera crew almost fell in. We had a great time. A lot of value. A lot of people have seen that. So I'm excited, man. Thanks for being here. I'm pumped about what you're putting together at 10X Growthcon, which we'll talk about. But what we're going to do is I want to add as much value as possible, do some rapid fire questions and talk about what you're up to, what you're doing, and then I'll let you go 10X your life like you've been doing.
I love it, man. I love it. I love what you're doing, brother.
I appreciate it. I want to start with this. I got a lot of questions from a lot of game changers about energy. I want to start with that. Your energy is infectious. People say you're as crazy as me energy-wise, and I was with you, and I'm like, I cannot believe this guy's 20-something years older than me, and his energy is sky high. Is there a secret to it? Is it because you love what you do? What is the key to having energy at your age?
Number one,
life? Yeah.
Number one, dude. Number one, like you guys got to be responsible for your energy. Okay. And if you think you're going to do protein drinks or some special herbal tea, or you're going to have some granola bar that's going to give it to you. Or what's that stuff? What's those little shots?
Wheatgrass?
No, the shots, any of that is basically turning over your responsibility to your energy. Like I don't do any of that bullshit, dude. I don't do cold plunges. If I do a cold plunge, it's because I want to be cold. It's not because I want to get fired up. Okay. I don't walk on fire so that I can get excited. Like they're not even practical things. Like if you have to eat an energy bar, or take a little, what's those little freaking shots that people take, the caffeine things?
5 hour energy?
What is it?
5 hour?
5 hour energy, man. What you're doing is saying that little bottle can give you energy, and you're giving up responsibility for your energy. So I just believe I produce energy. I believe that I produce
natural.
Huh?
It's all natural. Looks like.
Oh, natural, dog. I'm like, dang, I don't wear any underwear. I don't need that. I don't want anything too tight on me, man. I just want to roll.
I love it.
So anyway, and look, you got to have a purpose. You got to have a purpose. You got to have a game. You got to be in the thing to win. So all that's true too, right, Peter? You guys know that, but I think that people also need to be doing something they can win at, and that's worth winning at.
100%. I fully agree. When I love what I do and I have a purpose, I mean, I'm always energized, but that sparks it even more as well. So Grant, your mind's going a million miles a minute. You're always thinking huge. You always have amazing things going on around you. I see you everywhere right now. What's been on your mind? What's recently been taking over your mental space? Like, what's firing you up right now? Let
me just go back to this one thing you just said about you people need to love what they do. I don't personally believe that people need to love what they do. People need to win at what they do, and then they will fall in love. If you win enough, if you watch that Alabama-Georgia game this past 2 nights ago, dude, I wanted to turn the game off because I wanted to go to sleep, but I couldn't turn the game off because I love watching winners. And if you watch Alabama in the first half, they weren't loving it. They're getting their asses whooped. They can't move the ball down the field. Nothing's going right. They're getting bad breaks, but they stayed in the game. Now when they win the game, their attitudes were different. They're high-fiving, hip bumping, talking about who they're going to lay that night. I mean, they're going crazy, right? 19-year-old kid, by the way, becomes instant legend. Instant. Plays two quarters, and he's an instant legend to the world. Why? Because he won, not because he loved the game. It's because he won. And so I think that we don't talk enough, guys, about winning. Winning matters. You need to win in life. You need to win on the phone call. You need to win at the sales call. You need to win at the social media game. You need to win. And how do you win? You got to put a score on the board. It's not about feelings. People spend too much time on their feelings. I feel good. This feels good. I don't care how it feels, dude. I want to win. I just want to win.
Do you think too many people are obsessed with loving what they do and making sure they feel perfect before they go all in on their journey? I think results come first. If you get results, you're going to love it. Doesn't
Dude,
matter
it's
if you have passion.
the whole emotion game, the feeling game. Everybody wants to feel your shit, you know? But it's bullshit. You can't feel something like you can have the feeling, but typically, like when you're a little kid and you feel fear, most of the time it's not even real. Okay, my dad died when I was 10, man. I felt grief. All right, well, good, dude. People die. Like I can only have those feelings so long before I need to put them up and move on and make my dad proud, right? So I don't like people telling me no. It feels bad. But if I go with my feelings at that moment, I'm dead. So everybody says, oh, you got to do what Steve Jobs said, you need to love what you do. Yeah, well, Steve, you were making money, bro. You were cracking bank. It's easy to say that once you make it. Mark Cuban says you need to love it. Yeah, but Mark, when you were freaking starving, you didn't love it. Okay. It's easy to love being the owner of a basketball team and win some games. So I think that you got to look at where people are in the cycle when they're saying this. The people that tell you to follow the love and the money will come, they've already made their money. Okay. People are trying to make it don't talk like that. They're like, I need some money. So you get a contract. When J. Cole got his contract with Jay-Z, he got arrested the same night. He said it's the best damn night he spent in jail. Because they arrested one J. Cole, and he knew when he got out of jail, he'd be a different J. Cole. You understand? So people need to win, and y'all need to make like Peter. Is it Austin?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Austin, dude, you're a cool dude. You're a good looking dude, man. You like a Cary Grant of the 21st century. Okay. Y'all need to promote winning, the importance of winning in life. That doesn't mean anybody gets ripped off, by the way, or taken advantage of. Everybody can win, by the way. I can do a deal where both parties win. By the way, both parties should win so we can do it again.
Now, where do you see? So a lot of people are getting into entrepreneurship every day, Grant. There's social media marketing agencies popping up left and right every 2 seconds. And 98% of them don't thrive. If you could pinpoint, maybe that's it. If you can pinpoint, because we have a lot of six-figure earners watching right now, but they're not getting to 7.
Yeah.
So what do you think the main reason is that you've seen in your experience?
Dude, I saw your thing the other day and I said, man, he calls it 6 figures. You shouldn't have called it 6 figures, man. You called it 6 figures so people could think about the first little ladder. Okay. You should have called it 7 figures and above. Because here's
Maybe that's the next one.
Huh? Yeah.
That's the next one.
The 6-figure thing is a grind. That's the problem, by the way, with the grind. If you grind too long, you will burn out. You guys got to win, man. I don't wake up and say, I'm going to rise and grind today. And even Damon John, me and Damon have this. I said, dude, you shouldn't have called your book Rise and Grind. And he's like, no, it's about, and Damon's got, his title is right. If you understand what he's writing, he's writing about the rituals that successful people have. I wrote a chapter in his book. But I don't want to rise and grind. I want to rise and prosper. And you can't prosper at 100K. There is no prosperity at $100,000. At 100 grand a day, there's some prosperity. Okay. But at 100 grand a year, dude, that's $8,000 a month, man. You live in Miami, you're breaking even. You live in Los Angeles. There's not any money left over. There's no money for expansion. There's no money for rent. Right? You live over there, man. There's no money for, you want to do a jet charter. Hell, you can't even get a photograph in front of a jet if you make an $8 grand a month.
Fully agree, man. So Austin, go ahead, Grant.
Yeah, no, I just want to say this because a lot of you guys are going to say, but I don't need all that. But you're wrong. You don't know what you need yet. That's the other thing. A lot of young entrepreneurs, man, if I just make $8 grand, I'm better off than working for the man at 6. No, you're not. That's just dumb. If you don't have any risk, you're better off working for 6 than making 8 for yourself. So it is just a fact. You have no liability working for somebody else. You have no investment working for somebody else. Okay. They spend all the money. You guys got to go big, baby. It ain't go big or go home. It's go big or don't go. Mm-hmm. Go big or don't go. Okay. Don't make your decisions and targets based on the way you were brought up. Okay. Because if you make your decisions and targets based on the way you were brought up, you just buy a house. Just another middle class lie, man. Just a little man's dream. I just want to buy a house and be happy. It's a little man's.
So Grant, you talked about the numbers. What are a few key numbers that you're looking at every day? Like what report are you getting? What are you really measuring for your online business specifically?
Well, first thing I look at every day is my bank balances. Every damn day, man. Can you see if it's on my desk right now? I know somebody brought it to me this morning. Every day, man. First thing I want to see every day, how much money do I have in the bank? Every account, every retirement account if I have it, every checking account, every savings account, every money market. I want to see my money.
Yep.
Now, you guys listen to a lot of people out there. Is anybody saying this?
No, very few people. You're one of the ones that focus on money and tell people it's good to focus on money, because most people say it's bad to focus on money because you're greedy. So I like the message.
Like what game in life is not focused on the scoreboard?
Yeah.
Okay. How can you change a game if you don't get a score? Right. So you can't get bad breaks. You don't have bad breaks. You don't have enough points on the board. People don't have bad breaks in life. They don't have enough points on the board. You know, even in my marriage, man, my wife says, man, you didn't do this and you didn't do that, but look at what I did do. Look at the points on the board, baby. It's like 95 to nothing. Okay. So right here's all my accounts. I get this every morning.
Nice.
Okay. Every morning I'm like, okay, there's City National. There's my Bitcoin account, 1,000,007. There's my PayPal account, 62 grand. There's my CNBC account, 171,000. Here's my Florida money market account, 93 grand. Here's my Northern Trust account, $1.2 million. Here's my GC expansion account, 28 grand. Gulf Coast Capital Holdings, 106. Cardone Real Estate Acquisitions, 845. Pacific Stars. No, my escrow. I got escrow money, $6.1 million sitting in escrow to close 2 deals. Here's my Amalena CNBC account, 17 grand. I look at all of them, man, the big ones, the little ones. Here's my Cardone Equity Fund, 18,694,000. Heron Point, 1.2 million. Right. So I go over all this every day. Now,
why aren't people doing this?
Because they ain't got any money in their account.
That's a good point.
So let's take it back. Let's talk to those people that
if you don't look at it. This is a great question, Austin. If you guys don't pay attention to it, you ain't going to get it. Money follows attention. Money follows attention. You guys pay attention to your followers on Instagram and how many likes you got, most of which will never convert to money. Man, how many YouTube views did I get? Yeah, dude, look, I'm looking at my money. The second thing I'm looking at is my success stories, not my likes on Instagram, my success stories. Who's writing in saying I'm having success? We share those in a meeting every day, by the way. Okay. And then we look at all the engagement we had online, impressions, likes. Are we up? We down? How many podcast downloads? How many, every day I get these reports every single day, 5 days a week. How many LinkedIn articles, how many podcasts were viewed, et cetera, et cetera. So we're always trying to raise those numbers. Sorry if it was a long answer, but.
No, people need to hear that. I like it. And did you have a follow-up question, Austin? Because I know you're focused on kind of the numbers and the back end of the business.
Yeah. So the first million. So let's raise it from 6 months to 6 figures. And let's say you're starting from scratch, Grant. You want to get to 1 million as quickly as possible. Let's give you 6 months. What are you focused on? What are a few of those key activities that you're really, really focused on leveraging to get past the 7-figure mark?
There's 3 ways to $1 million, and there's only 3 ways. Earn money, keep that money, multiply the money. So you guys got to decide where you're at. Now, if you have $982,000 already, all you got to do is go make $8. Bang. Target achieved. So I'm going to walk outside. I'm not going to go create a product. I'm going to walk outside and say, hey, I'm going to call my wife. Give me $8 damn dollars. See, people complicate the thing. They're like, I got to go to get a business plan. No, dude, you need to know where you're at right now. If you're at 0 right now and you want to get to $1 million, the thing to ask yourself is, number one, is there $1 million on the planet? It's not, what does my product need to be? You don't need a product, dude. You need a commitment. What is my product is not the first thing to decide on. What is my commitment to the $1 million? Second thing, hey, is there $1 million? Here's the target, $1 million. Number 2, okay, where am I at right now? I'm at 0. Okay, I got to go from 0 to $1 million. Okay, right. So Is there $1 million on the planet? Yes. The answer is yes. Three. If I get this $1 million, okay, is it being exchanged every day, every week, every month, every year? How long should it take? Now what I want to do is once I decide there's a target, I can achieve it. Okay, well, good. How fast can I achieve the $1 million? The first thing people should be focused on right now, if you're a young entrepreneur, is not saving money, number 2, and not investing money, number 3. It should be one thing, simply earning money. By the way, earning money does not mean you need a product. It means you need to earn money. How can I earn money? See, this is what nobody wants to do. Everybody wants to be glamorous. You know, so I don't want to be glamorous. I just want to earn $1 million. I can buy some glamour, right? So once you get some money, then you can buy the glamour. So I could go out and how many windshields do I need to squidgy at $25 a pop? I'll do the math, man. 40,000. Is that right? 40,000? I think it's 40,000. I need to do 40,000 windshields. Wow, that's be a lot. Okay. There's 365. Now I'm going to start doing math, right? That's one way to do it. Oh, I could get 1 million people to give me $1. Or I could get 100,000 people to give me $10. Or I could get 10,000 people to give me, you follow me? I'm just going to keep going down. Or I could find one person and go club them over the head and steal $1 million from them. You just got to figure out which way you're going to do it. A guy like me is going to be like, I'm doing them all.
But you said something, Grant. You said don't just focus on the money, focus on committing to it. So regardless of what happens, regardless of the challenges, regardless of people talking down to you, you're committed regardless. People didn't understand that mindset. That's why even if you don't know right now how you're going to make an extra $1 million, if you commit to it and you actually put the work in and you map it out, you're going to eventually make it happen if you don't give up. Most people just want it easy.
Yeah, and as long as you're not hanging around, because as soon as you make a commitment to anything, $1 million, network marketing, becoming an actor, you're going to have somebody tell you, as soon as you commit, you don't need all that. That's all bullshit. I love you just the way you are. The people closest to you are going to talk you out of it. Now, if you could be talked out of it, that means you didn't commit. And by the way, when you commit, your 2 things happen immediately after every commitment I make. Every time I commit to something, I spend money and I invest time. Every time. I don't make commitments. If I make a commitment to buy my wife a ring, somebody got my credit card. And I took the time to call it in, to pick out that ring. Okay. If you make a commitment to eat in the morning, somebody exchanged time and money. You're not eating, nobody eats for free. So all commitments require, like we're doing this 10X Growth Conference in Vegas. Dude, every day people are going to be making commitments. Every day at the conference while they're there. What does that mean? While they're there, they will be investing money and energy and time in getting a result. We're not going to wait till the conference is over for people to make money. They're going to make money while they're in the room.
Real quick, 10xgrowthcon.com. We talked about it before, Grant, but you have some absolutely, it's you, so I know how you did it, but pulling that lineup is amazing. So you guys check out 10xgrowthcon.com. The lineup is absolutely exceptional. And I had a commitment, but I'm doing all I can to make it happen to be there, Grant. So most likely I will see you there. So okay. What we can do to end, I just want to do some rapid fire.
You got a commitment to be in there now.
I got to cancel some things and move some things around, but I usually make things happen when I decide.
Hey, everybody's got to do that when they're making, this is exactly like people should like just start journaling how many times they're making commitments in their life and what needs to be juggled. By the way, something always has to be given up. You know, there's so much that has to be surrendered to get something else, like Game Changer, your t-shirt. For me to wear that shirt, I'd have to either take this one off or put yours on top of it, but something would have to change. And Peter, there's so many people out there that are talking about it, man. Here we are at the beginning of the year. I want to lose weight. I want to add muscle. I want a better relationship. I want the right girl. If you want the right girl, you can't keep going to the same strip joint. Okay. If you want to quit drinking alcohol, you got to quit going to the bar. If you don't want to smoke any more weed and you think it's slowing you down, then you got to quit going to the medicinal place, picking it up, lying to people that you got something wrong with you when there's fucking nothing wrong with you, right? if you want to act like you're a superhero, quit parking in the handicap zone. I used to do that shit. I'm like, I'm going to get me one of those stickers so I can park in the handicap zone. And somebody said, bro, you're going to tell people that you're handicapped? Like, you're going to advertise that you're handicapped? Even if you are, you wouldn't want that freaking piece of paper. Right? And the guy looked at me and says, why don't you just park in the fire zone, bro? If you're in that much of a hurry, park out there and let the car get towed away. I said, that's some good shit, dog. Put yourself in a position where they can tow your car away and you can get it back. You see what I'm saying? So everybody's got to give something up. So that growth conference that you asked about, I don't know how many speakers. Who's your favorite speaker? Who would you want to hear the most there?
My Let's been crushing it.
Oh yeah, my Let is death.
Actually, your wife's on the agenda a couple times. I've heard her speak a little bit, but I'm excited to see what she has to say.
She is ridiculous because she knows all the shit behind the scenes.
100%. That's what I'm saying.
You should get Elena and interview Elena, and you should ask her. The whole interview should be, tell me about the shit you've seen him do that nobody knows about.
I mean, let's do it. I'll set it up after this call.
I've seen it all, bro.
Also, Tim Grover's the absolute monster. He reminds me of you. He's been through it. I've interviewed him. I would love to hear him speak. He's an amazing speaker as well. So you got a lot of speakers, man. So I'm excited to hear them all. So Grant, I know you said I want to respect your time at the highest level. I know we got on a little bit late.
We're good, man. We're good. I love you dudes, man.
Okay. I'm gonna have rapid fire then. So you could just do shorter answers, but we have some game changers really respect your grind. You're one of their favorites. So let's just rapid fire and you kind of go through whatever answer comes to your mind.
You remember, Peter, they don't really respect my grind. They respect my prosperity.
They respect your 10X jets.
Yeah, okay.
I need to get on one of them jets with you one day.
Let's do
All
it.
Right, so I'm down. Adam Judish, what's one habit you'd tell yourself to develop at the highest level when you're in your 30s? The most important habit in your 30s.
One habit would be take more risk. Particularly with money, risk more money, particularly when you don't have a lot of money, right? That's when you want to risk money. You want to risk the money early on.
I love it. Quincy, where do you see most salespeople today failing in the new economy of marketing and selling? Where's the biggest failure you see with young sales professionals?
They have traded in door to door and face to face and over the phone for Facebook Messenger.
I see that every single day. I get messages every day, man. I know you do too. Here's a question I'd love to get your opinion on myself too, because there's a lot of people asking about earning income, houses, rentals. This is from Julie. I have a house paid off and I'm earning rental income from it in a desirable area, but I'm considering selling it. It's higher than market value right now and investing elsewhere. What would you do? I'm estimated to get about $500,000 for it. I'm earning $2,000 a month from it currently. And when your company, when will your company go public for others to invest in? So 2-part question.
Yeah. Well, first of all, her investment is a terrible investment. Okay. She's got a single family home earning $25,000 a year. That is less than 5% on her money. Is that right? Yeah. 5% of 500 grand is 25,000. It's a terrible return, dude. She's got a lot of exposure. I would definitely sell the 500 grand. I would put it into apartments, nothing less than 30 units. It would buy a $2 million deal or more. Like if she was buying a deal with me, I'm buying $100+ million worth of real estate this month, closing on 100 million plus. Her 2 million would ride with my 100. So, I know what I'm doing. Big deals, great locations. These are long-term investments, and I would rent where she lives. She should rent where she lives. She should never rely on a single door for income. And now is a great time to sell. And I would say that same thing to everyone that owns any home. By the way, some of the speakers that are at my conference have called me and said, "Hey man, what do I do with my real estate? Here's my situation." And I'm like, I'll tell you exactly what to do with it, And one guy owns 5 homes. They're all paid for. All his wealth is in those homes. I'm like, bro, get rid of that.
Wow. Yeah.
Earn income. Get confident.
I'll tell you, I was impressed too. When we were at the beach in Malibu, you were talking about the detail of what goes into the properties you look at. You were looking at one in Houston that was like, I think it was 40 or 50 million, but you really do your due diligence. I did not know how much due diligence you did yourself to actually make the money. So people need to realize you're not cutting any corners. Like, you're really getting out there and going to the properties. You have a great team as well. So I want people to know that you're doing your due diligence. Like, you're putting in the work.
Yeah. Look, we look at 100 deals to buy 2 deals.
Mm-hmm.
I might look at 100 deals over 5 different states. I look at deals every day. Once I do deals, I'm looking at deals. So like right now I'm doing a deal in Orlando, Florida. It's $50 million. It's $50,250,000. The legal alone is $25,000. So that means my legal bill on this deal is more than that chick is going to make this year. Right? So right now I'm fighting. I have till 5:00 today to sign off on the due diligence. This is my last day. We're fighting over $100,000 right now on a $50 million deal. And I got Ryan in here. My wife are like, why are you fighting over $100,000? It's just $100,000. Cause I fight. Cause I'm going to fight for what I think is right. And if I won't fight for $100,000 when I have millions, this is what happens. People don't fight, man. They won't fight for $100. So you guys never get to 100 million. So most people would just lay down right now. The seller thinks that I'm just going to lay down over the 100. Grant, it's just 100. Good. If it's just 100, you fucking throw it in. Okay. Cause I'm going to take that $100,000 they're going to give me and I'm going to buy a gate for the property. By the way, they should have put a gate on the damn thing before I bought it. And so a lot of it is due diligence. A lot of it is picking deals. It's tremendous amount of discipline. It's not just picking the right deals. It's the discipline to pass on the bad ones, right? It's like poker. In poker, you can't play every hand, John. Okay. You got to pick, you got to have discipline and know when to go all in, right? You want to go all in when you got the nuts. And that's what I do with real estate. And that's why my brother, my sister, I got so many partners, employees. Like Jared's 33 years old. His first check this month was $17,000 from the apartment investing. That's before he comes to work. January the 1st, his first check was $17K to start the month off.
Love it.
Yeah.
I like the philosophy on it, and I've adopted some of that as well, Grant. Here's one from Justin Weeks, one of our top members. He's from Lake Charles. He lives in Lake Charles, Louisiana. He said, I'd ask him if he's going to ever come back to his hometown and grace the stage of the Civic Center.
Wow, that would be cool, man. I'd love to do that. They got to invite me in, you know. Somebody's got to have a reason to bring me over there. So I'd be happy to come to Lake Charlottetown.
That's awesome. David Simons, my question is, how do you suggest I get a highly motivated sales rep for my digital marketing agency that is willing to grow with me? I'm not ready to pay a salary, but I want to start with commission and then move to a base plus commissions.
Number one, you need to quit thinking about one person. You're going to have to go through probably 10, 12, or 15 to get to the one. Number two, you have to be willing to pay money, dude. You're thinking too small right now. You're all worried about, I don't want to give them a salary. You got to think bigger. Again, this goes back to the reason the solopreneur never becomes a business is because they're thinking about their money. You're thinking about your money rather than other people's money. People don't cost money. People do not cost money. Hiring people don't cost money. Employees don't cost money. Okay. Every great company, like I got a guy, Mike Bertolino. You don't know who he is, but he's going to be speaking on at the Growth Conference. He has 264,000 employees. He ain't got time for Facebook. He's one of the people that actually legitimately does not have time for bullshit Facebook. He's got 264,000 employees. He will tell you not one of them costs his company any money. His company has gotten bigger every time they add an employee. Now, people that are stealing and not working. So I would just tell your friend there that asked that question, like, man, you need to think about hiring 8 or 10 or 12 or 15 or 20 or 80 people.
It's a different frame of mind, different way to approach, different way to think. That's why obviously you're growing so fast. George Cohen, what is the one hack or continuous area of improvement in your sales funnel you must optimize to maximize your return? So what's one hack to optimize your sales funnel for returns?
We actually don't think about optimization here. So we think about, I don't even look at conversions.
What's the focus instead? Money, success stories?
Income, dude. Did we sell more or not? The only thing I try to move here is the bottom line. And the only way to move the bottom line is to move the top line. I don't care about all the stuff that happens in between. So if I paid attention to every argument me and my wife had, we'd have a divorce, right? I mean, I could fucking have one tonight. I don't pay attention to that, dude. I pay attention to the stuff in between, in the top and the bottom. What happened at the top? What happened at the bottom? All the stuff that happens in between doesn't matter to me, right? So what happens at the beginning of the day? What happens at the end of the day? All the stuff that happens in between is just part of the challenge. So same thing with converting. I know everybody talks about conversions. What are they spending? I don't care. Did my top line get bigger, and did I keep it on the bottom line? So we gave $1 million away in December. I gave $1 million away. Everybody's like, did it help you? No clue. I had the biggest month I've ever had in my damn career.
So the answer is yes.
I don't know. It could have been the fact that I had my dick on my left side all month. I don't know. But I know this. The month was so good, I'm going to wear my dick on the left side the rest of the year.
Only you, Grant. I never know what's going to come out of your mouth. And I'll tell you, the conversation we had in Malibu, that one, you probably don't remember. It was the funniest ever in an interview that you said. Oh, man, it was hilarious. All right,
I don't
Kevin
remember.
White.
Was it funny?
I know you don't, but it was hilarious. And then you told your camera crew, make sure you bleep that out, and they didn't. So it's still there. That's even funnier.
Dude, let's put it on Instagram today. I don't remember what we talked about.
I dare you to put that on Instagram. That'd be
everybody eats?
No. Oh yeah,
No.
I think it might have.
I think it was that. Yeah.
ED, man. Everybody does, dude. Everybody's got to take it, man.
Oh, that's funny. That's why I'm enjoying interviewing, because you never know what's going to come out of your mouth, and you don't fear people. You're fully yourself, and I think too many entrepreneurs fear what others think when they talk, and it holds them back from ever achieving real greatness. Let me ask you this. Oh, go ahead.
The one thing that I do fear is like when I say some of that stuff, like young guys are like, they're going to start cursing. I mean, I don't want to be that influence either. So it's
a happy median, huh? Because you like being yourself.
Yeah, I'm not like if you're 15 years old, you don't need to go around, hey, I'm wearing my dick on the left side today. Yeah, you need to wait until you got some success to do that, right? So, look, cursing ain't going to make you famous. Cursing's not going to make you successful. The only thing that's going to make you successful, like when you go to the bank to get a loan, they're going to ask you about your money. They're not going to ask you about your feelings. You're not going to be telling jokes there. So you just got to pick your time, right? And, you know, my daughter Sabrina this morning woke up and told me, she's like, Papa, I had a dream last night. I said, really? What was it? She's like, me and you were in the dream and we were superheroes. And she's like, I had a cape. She's like, I had a little pink cape on and it's got little 10X, and you had a red and black cape and it was 10X. And I said, what were you doing? She's like, we were saving the world. You know, that's when you don't want to hear the kids hearing you curse. So, cause you do want to be a good example for people to save the world. So I regret saying that now. I'm sorry, bleep or don't bleep, whatever. I'll have to deal with it later.
Well, it's good you kind of care, but at the same time, people admire your ability to be fully yourself and be authentic, because there's just not enough people that are fully authentic, that are worried about everything they say, and they're not being themselves. So you give out more value than obviously the stuff that you say there. Let's do one or two more questions, because I want to make sure you obviously, I respect your time. Steven Peterson, what was your breakwater moment in your early days that signaled that you found the right path that you are now? Was there a moment, an event, a mindset change? Was it a combination of things? Do you remember?
Yeah, there's been hundreds of moments. There's not a moment. I mean, there have been moments, but there've been a lot of them.
Any that stand out? I know we've talked about some pretty powerful ones. Yeah. But do you remember any that like really kind of defined the path that you went to next?
My biggest moments, dude, have been when people press me. Like when people start jacking with me. I've had a lot of big setbacks that were big for me. When people unjustly take me on, or when people underestimate me, boy, it fuels something big in me. So there was a big one. I hope that I wish this on no one, but there was in 2008, this guy sued me for $60 million. And when I tell you that it was unjust and criminal, I'm telling you, it had zero. Like when you guys see people getting sued in the media or something, so and so, don't always assume they did something wrong. Because I'm telling you, I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, sometimes they're completely just totally unjustified. And this was completely 100% unjustified. I'm still responsible, okay, because I got close enough to the guy for him to do this to me. But it was a $60 million lawsuit, man. It was like, it was spinning my freaking head because I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't even do anything wrong here, right? How did this happen to me? What did I do here? So I had to defend that lawsuit. I won the lawsuit, but I had to defend myself for like 24 months, 25 months or so at a cost of about $600,000 a month on something that I didn't even do. And when I finally got through that deal, it was still dragging around with me, right? I'm still pissed off about it. I was still pissed off about it. I'm not pissed off anymore. Now I'm grateful because one day I was like, I got to convert this thing. I need to convert this to fuel. And that thing has been, that's when I made a decision. I'm going to make sure everybody knows who Grant Cardone is. Nobody knew me before that. I said, that motherfucker's going to wake. Oops, I did it again. That dude's going to wake up every morning. He's going to wake up and he's going to see my face somewhere. And here we are now, I don't know, 8 years later. And I guarantee you, that guy can't open up his Facebook without seeing me.
I did not know about that. I didn't hear that story. So that's powerful that you rebounded. Most people that would have defined them and they would have probably given up because they were so let down and felt like someone attacked them and it was unfair and unjust. But the fact that you use it as fuel is why you are where you are as well.
You know, I don't know if you saw that new plane that I just bought, but I'm going to put on the bottom, thank you, Ralph. I'm going to fly over his house.
That's funny. That's some motivation though. Simple, two more female. We have some powerful female entrepreneurs. My question would be, what's your advice for couples with young kids? How do you and your wife make the most of your time at work when you're not with your kids and then with your kids? What's kind of your happy medium, your balance to make sure you spend time with your kids, but also hustle with your wife?
Yeah. So like, you know, this morning I got up, took my kids to school. I took them by myself. I didn't want my wife in the car with me. I want to take them. I want to spend time with them. By the way, I'm the one that put them to sleep last night. I put them to bed, tell them a story. I do a little dance for them. Boom. I put them down. You know, so I'm looking for moments to be that guy, right? So look, like that's the whole 10X thing. The 10X thing has nothing to do with balance. If you look for balance, you're going to miss this whole deal. Like I'm not playing the balance game. I'm playing the 10X game. The 10X game is, look, I'm going to be a superhero to myself though. I'm trying to be my hero. So you got to make time, man. Like most of my career, I didn't have kids. They just came on 8 years ago. And so I had to change my schedule a little bit, but all you really have to do is just make it a priority. Say, okay, I'm going to find time for them. And the second part is you also need to get some help around. You need to get some help so that you can do the other things you need to do so that you don't turn into an 8-year-old. You know, see, it's fun for me to dip in and out, but I have help around to support me with the rest of the time because the reality is it's not my purpose to be with Sabrina 8 hours a day. You know, my job's to be with my goal and my dream is to run my business, influence people, help people, you know, learn my own stuff to 8 hours a day. I got my own school I'm going to. So, you know, also on the weekends, like my job's not to spend what's 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. That's 48 hours. My job as a father is not to spend 48 hours with my kids nonstop. My job's to spend some good quality time with my kids. Make sure I influence them as a father, and then let them go crazy with somebody else.
Huge. One more, Grant. And once again, guys, 10xgrowthcon.com. You can check out the agenda. It's almost sold out. The stadium is huge. And I can tell you it's going to be extremely valuable. I'll tell you what I like about it, Grant, that I know for a fact will happen is most events that I've been to in the past, they are feel-good events. They make you feel good. You're inspired. but you don't really have tactics and you're not really getting results. So I've tried to pride myself, same with Austin, in giving people real results that are tangible, that they can see in their bank account, or they can see losing 10 pounds or actually quitting their job, making their first 6-7 figures. So 10xgrowthcon.com. One more question that I think is related to sales and marketing, I think would help a lot of people. How do you develop and empower a highly effective sales team? Simple, but you've done it countless times. And then marketing wise, what's been your biggest learning in marketing via social media?
Well, the biggest thing I've learned about the social media is, man, use them all and use them often. You know, beat them to death.
Like crazy. Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of content. I mean, I got, you know, we're proud of the content we have. So use it often, use it even more often than that. It's a big space. It's way bigger than you think. Everybody's underutilizing it. On the sales end, though, like you guys that are trying to build a sales team, if you try to build your sales team and they're just 1/3 of our income here comes from online marketing, 1/3 of it comes from on the phone, and 1/3 of it comes door to door. So we're very, that might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but that's really what we're looking for. We're looking for traditional phones and online. Okay. So I know some guys are just e-commerce only. I'm like, well, dude, why would you give up on phones and front doors? I mean, they do still exist. You know, you want to go see the guy that makes the decision making for CNBC on their programming. You're not going to do that over Facebook or Instagram or Twitter.
Love it, man. Huge. Gary Cardone, he looks just like you.
Yeah, he's my twin brother, bro.
I love it, man.
Identical twin brother. I'm better looking than him, but
you got your family speaking. You got Hank Norman, who's a beast. Lori Harder, Tim Grover, Louis Sykes, Damon John, Ezra. That's amazing, man. So one more thing. What makes it different? What is your most exciting thing that you've created with 10X Growthcon of why they should check it out and go? Anything that you want to share? 10xgrowthcon.com. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, I put that conference together for me. That conference is built. We were having a meeting this morning. I said, hey guys, I want to make this conference good for me. If it's good for me, it'll be good for everybody else that comes. I want the conference to change me and my wife. I want the conference to change me and the speakers. Okay. This is not a feel good like you talked about. This is not just about ticket sales. Okay. I'm bringing people together that can actually help me expand my brand and get my name into more spots on this planet. Like this year, we're going to offer a license opportunity. We're going to open this up. The only way for me to scale my business is to get thousands of people opening up offices using my products and services. So we're actually going to have people have a license opportunity to go out in, let's say, in Lake Charles, Louisiana, where I don't live anymore, and say, hey, why don't we do courses in Lake Charles? And they can make money off of me legitimately. They'll be trained, certified, and be able to share sales, follow-up, prospecting, closing, social media, all the things that we teach here. So I want people doing better, man. I want people around me doing better, right? There's no free tickets. Nobody's coming to this thing for free. Everybody's paying to come. There's not going to be any back rubbing. We're not doing it. That's not what we're doing here. We're going to be doing strategically. The first day is on sales. The second day is on marketing and branding. The third day is how do I put it all together into the life and business that I want? So it's one thing I'm doing. I don't do business. I do life. I'm doing the Grant Cardone life. I've never been given permission to do this. I had to literally take this and say, I'm going to do this. And this is what you said earlier about, I get to, Grant's being Grant, saying whatever he wants. It's freedom, man. The ultimate reward is freedom. The reason to have money is freedom. The reason to have a social presence is freedom. So what? Some people don't like me on social media. I'll just go get some more. Peter likes me.
I appreciate it, man. And once again, I tell you this a lot, but I want to respect you at the highest level for what you do, for how you think, for how many people you're impacting. And you're one of the few people, I'm being very blunt, that can bridge the gap and relate to 15-year-olds and 72-year-olds. Very few people I talk to in this generation that are between ages 16, 17, and 30 relate to anyone above the age of 45 or 50. I've talked to them.
Yeah.
And you're one of the people that really they can relate to and respect and actually get value from. So I appreciate you, man. Thanks again. Grant's on every social media. Make sure you follow him. 10X Growthcon. We're going to link it below as well. And Grant,
I'm thinking about getting on Tinder, man.
I don't know if your wife will like that.
No, I could sell it to her though. I'd be like, baby, maybe we sell a book or two. Hey, love you guys, man. Love you guys. All right.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks again. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks, brother.
Well, we definitely have a treat for you guys today. Mr. Grant Cardone, who a lot of you have heard of, studied, got success tips from. And let me talk a little bit about him. He's an American entrepreneur, New York Times best-selling author, speaker, and motivator. Very well-respected sales expert whose passion is to teach really you how to sell yourself, your products, your services, no matter what the economy does. And as you can tell, he's very energized and pumped up today. He's authored 4 books. If you're not first, you're last. There's also an award-winning book, Sell or Be Sold. One of my favorites is the 10X Rule. He also enjoys Oreos. He eats them daily, morning and night.
Mega stuff too, dude.
And he serves as an expert contributor to Fox News, CNBC, MSNBC, Huffington Post, Entrepreneur, Business Insider, and many others. Also has a show called The Young Hustlers that I know a lot of you guys are watching, but numerous other things. Now, here's my favorite part, really, maybe favorite thing about Grant. His energy, his passion, his authenticity, and he speaks from real experience. He speaks from the heart, and he really doesn't care what people think. He could care. I think this will be a pretty exciting and controversial interview, but I admire his tenacity. He's so in tune with who he is, he can care less what you think. He's just going to add value today. So Grant, welcome. I'm excited, man.
Peter, thanks a lot, man. I'm interested in seeing what some of your deep recessed questions are for me. I eat my Oreos the way I do my life. I double up on the mega stuff, and I take off. See, I double them up right here, bro. So it's like more is better is the theme of my life. More is better, except for those who don't have enough.
So you 10X your Oreos?
No, I 2X my Oreos.
I love it. Got it. So Grant, real quick, for those who have been under a rock, who don't know who you are,
all right.
I think most people do, but where'd you grow up, and can you kind of think of anything that shaped you during your early years of who you are today?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Lake Charles, Louisiana. It's a small town, about 50,000 people, and near the bayous, actually toward the east or west border of Louisiana, closer to Houston than New Orleans, if you can, in a refinery town. And I'm not a refinery kind of guy, you know. So my dad died when I was 10 years old, and my dad was a hustler. My dad wanted to be a millionaire, and he ran out of time. He did extremely well for himself, but when he died, he left us with a little insurance money. And basically, when I say my dad did well for himself, what I mean is my dad came from a family that had nothing. They were Italian immigrants, came to the country with zero, only knew about hard work. He was the first person in his family to get an education, and he died prematurely at 52 years old. Yeah. He had 5 kids and a wife. His wife, my mother did not know how to balance a checkbook. Now, look, no matter how much money you have, if you don't know how to balance a checkbook and don't know how to bring in new money, you're going to be scared every day of your life. This is what is called today the middle class. I was brought up in the middle class. We had enough. We had food. We had clothes. We had a car. We had a way to get to school. We had more than a lot of people. But we didn't have enough not to be freaking scared every second of every day. Now, this is, 40 years ago, I was brought up like this. And my dad missed his dream. He didn't make it. He didn't make it to the status he wanted. My mother, on the other hand, had just enough. We had just enough paper money. We had just enough to pay the bills, but never enough to okay, everything's going to be all right. It was always a threat. Fast forward 40 years. Dude, the entire middle class is getting smaller, okay? there's a 30% chance today that if you were born in the middle class, you won't be in it as an adult. Magnify that to the people in your age group, millennials, crushed. Never. No group of people has been under more financial oppression, suppression, falsehoods, and myths than people 18 to 32 years old. And I have a mission to help those young hustlers. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I came from nothing. Basically, at 25 years old, I'm broke. I didn't think much of myself. I had a drug problem. At 25 years old, I'm like, okay, I got to get my shit together. I got to get my game on, and decided I'm going to get rich. I'm going to have financial freedom in my lifetime. I'm going to be in a situation that if I'm going to worry about money, dude, I want to worry about some big money. You know, Jay-Z says he's got 99 problems. Shit, I got 10 billion problems because I ain't got 10 billion.
I love it, man. So, and I read about that a lot in your book too, that it kind of just, when you were 25, you just made a definite decision just to go all out and become wealthy. Now, can you think of, and we'll talk about the young millennials, and we'll talk about really what they can do to differentiate, to not be stressed out, struggling, scared, in fear. But what was your biggest challenge coming up in the business world when you started? Of course, when you set your goal and you set your mind to becoming wealthy, shit's going to happen, as you know. Can you think of anything that kind of got you down?
The first thing was, Peter, I had to get over this idea that I was young. Okay. I think a lot of people, and we get this on our show all the time, young guys calling in saying, yeah, but I'm younger than my client. I'm like, yeah, so what, dude? I remember thinking this, I'm too young. People don't trust me. I looked probably 10 years younger. When I was 25, I looked like I was like 18. And you probably wouldn't guess my age. Today I'm 56 years old tomorrow.
That's crazy.
And so I've always looked a bit younger than my age. So that was more of a problem for me than it was for them. Nobody was asking me how old I was. Look, Alexander the Great was freaking 16 years old and had conquered planet Earth. 16, dude. The guy was a baller. Okay. Jesus Christ was 33 and everybody knows about him. You might not believe in him. You might not support him. Everybody knows the name. And he was crucified at the age of 33. So the point is, look, first of all, get over this age bullshit, because it's just, that's all it is. It's in your head, not theirs. Bring value to the game. Bring value to the game. You got to get sick. You got to get so good at your game that you stand out amongst the 80 million millennials. You need to get to where people look at you like, dude, you're like, what's going on with you, man? What are you eating? What are you popping something? Did you just smoke some freaking crazy weed? What kind of kush you on? People need to be like wondering what the hell is going on with this person, that he's so unique, so different. They should be complimenting you every day. And that's the switch that needs to happen for everybody. And it's not going to happen for everybody. Okay. Everybody's not going to be exceptional. They have the ability to be, but they're not going to make the switch to say, hey, I'm going to stand out amongst my group, which means I got to do some things different than the rest of my group's doing.
You know what scares me is all the schools, the colleges. I went to the University of Oregon, and we're actually taught to not speak out, and we're taught to kind of fit in and to not actually be exceptional, because that's bad. Why is that happening? I think kids need to really understand that's the worst thing you can do, is try to fit in and be like everybody else. So do you have any thoughts on
it's unbelievable. I tell you, the things this generation has going. Oh, totally. The things this generation has going against it is not the things that are reported in the papers, that you guys are lazy, you text too much, you like social media, you don't work hard, you don't want to stay at a job. That's all garbage, dude. That's just hype by the media. Mm-hmm. Mainstream conservatives that are confused. Look, here's the problem. Okay, you're the most medicated generation that's ever existed on this planet. You're given pills for everything. I'm not talking about street drugs, dude. I had a $500 cocaine habit. Okay, that cocaine's nothing compared to the stuff the doctors are giving kids today. So one, you're over medicated. Okay, you're over evaluated. People evaluate you guys constantly. You're lazy, you text, you're social media rats, you don't work, you're over-evaluated, you're invalidated like no other generation has ever been invalidated. saying you're not smart. You don't look, you guys are the smartest generation that has ever come about. But the media doesn't tell you that. You have the highest education rate of any generation that has ever come out of the United States. Yet you earn less money than any other generation. You can't get a job. Why? Okay. You're most influenced by the Dr. Seuss kind of therapeutic, feel good, embrace the child within, have your feelings, all this gooble gobble horoscopic. Dude, you know what you need to do? You need to freaking get to work, baby. You need to bank some paper. You need to do what guys are doing that will do anything to get out of the rut and not listen to all this garbage. I'm pulling for millennials. You're bright. You understand technology. You understand about being nimble. You don't want to get over debted. You know your mommy and daddy's financial plan was a failure. You know the house is not an investment. It's a chain around your neck. It's not a dream, possibly a nightmare. You guys know and have seen things happen to generations before you that just didn't work out. And that makes you better off than many, many others.
So they need to take that experience, and I love your thoughts, Grant. They need to take that experience and all the things that have happened wrong and figure out a formula to make sure they differentiate so they can have a better future. That's huge.
And that means you need to be really confident about who you are. You got to be completely sure about who you are. Now, these are some things that are going against you. You guys get information from more places than any other generation ever in the history of mankind. Too much content coming in confuses people.
Yep. And
it's not good at some point to have, it's overwhelm and it's distrust. I start not trusting because if I go to CNBC, for instance, right now and just plug in the word housing from CNBC, I'm going to get 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 different ideas about whether a house is a good deal or not. My life turned around when I started going to fewer sources and committing to those sources. You know the old saying, like a guy called here, a lawyer called here. He charges $650 an hour. He called my offices here in Miami yesterday. And when I picked up the phone, he's like, dude, your people all sound like you. I said, oh, yeah, bro, this is a cult we got going on over here. He's like, really? You got a cult? I said, oh, it's a cult, bro. He said, man, you got them drinking the Kool-Aid. I said, no, we don't drink Kool-Aid here, bro. We swim in it. We reduce the amount of content from the rest of the world. We find 1 or 2 or 3 things that work for us, and that's all we do over and over and over again. People need to take that advice, man. Commit to your career and then reduce down to 1 or 2 people that you're going to get your data from, not the whole world. And like, make sure those 1 or 2 stable pieces work. Because if you listen to your mom, your dad, your cousin, your uncle, your aunt, your grandpa, Mark, CNBC, CNN, if you listen to all this, it's going to become very confusing and you're not going to do anything.
Which is where 99% are at, just to put that out there.
Right.
So right now.
Peter, let me just say one other thing in addition to what you just said about the 99%. Okay. Like, look, 20% of the people earn 80% of the income in the United States of America. When I heard that statistic, the first time I heard that statistic, I'm like, I want to be part of the 20%. So then I started, the only friends I would have, the only people I would go out with, the only people I would drink with, the only people I would hang with were the 20%. I'm like, hey, the 80% might be nice people, might be a buddy. He might have a nice girl. He might have a nice sister that I want to, play with for a night. But dude, I'm going to learn from the 20%. They have some data the other 80 don't have. I want to be around the winners. And hey, let's just call a spade a spade. I want to get rich.
Now, you said that word rich, money, wealth. It's for a lot of people that are mediocre or middle class, if younger people talk about getting wealthy and rich, this gives me chills how sad this is.
Yeah.
It's looked down upon. Are you kidding?
Dude, you can talk about drugs. You could say, hey, my son's a drug addict. Your parents, I just wrote an article about kids and money. And your parents will talk about a drug problem with a child before they talk about money with a child. It's crazy, dude. Kids today are taught, don't do drugs. Yeah, right. Okay. Come in on time, get good grades, don't have sex before. Dude, where's the conversation about get you some money, son? Yep. Because broke is bad. Okay, look, I've done the experiment. Okay, I had an experiment being broke, and I did one having money. Okay, I got to tell you, both of them take effort. In fact, being broke takes more effort than having money. And the guy that says money won't make you happy is baloney, dog. I'm telling you, look, money can make you happy. And if you're not, if you're not capable of being happy, have some money to go with it.
You know what's funny is Zig Ziglar, when I was younger, he said, money's not everything, but it is right up there with oxygen. And I remember that.
I mean, it counts, man. It counts when you want to make a change. Yeah, you want to do something big. You're going to need, somebody's going to say, hey, how are you going to make this work? You need some dough to do it.
100%. And I'll tell you, if you could look back, I think there's some valuable insight where these 19, 20, 21-year-olds, they have all this, they have school debt. The average debt is outrageous right now. So they're going into the economy and workplace already at a disadvantage and fear. And the government, I think, has them where their number one priority is to pay them back and to pay them back. What would you say to those people that are like, well, all my money's going to my student loans and to
Dude,
taxes?
I wouldn't pay them back. I would not pay them back right now. That is the wrong thing to do. Financially, that is an incorrect move. If you owe the government $70,000 or $130,000 or $40,000, you should not be paying them back right now. You should be doing one other thing first. Make money. If you're making 50 grand a year, you have to figure out how to go to 100. You don't need to figure out how to pay the U.S. government back right now. The U.S. government is broke. You don't give money to broke people. That's ridiculous, okay? You don't give money to broke people and you're broke. Why would you pay a government this broke and you're freaking broke? It doesn't make any sense. Now, Dave Ramsey's not going to tell you this. And Susie Orman ain't going to tell you this. And your mommy and daddy ain't going to tell you this. And the government's not going to tell you this. Do not pay them back right now. Pay them back, but not right now. What you need to be working on right now is you got money coming in. This much money's coming in. The only thing you should be concerned about right now is not your degree, nothing, dude. Just this: get more money coming in. You got to figure out how to get that $50,000 a year job to pay you $80,000. Your next stop should be 50 to 75. How do I get another 25? I'm not talking about going to get another job right now. I'm not talking about waiting tables at night. Okay. I'm not talking about selling drugs on the side. I'm talking about how do you get the job you're making? You're making 50. You're a tech guy in a company. You're making 50. You got to figure out some creative way, and I don't know what that is, to figure out how to get from 50 to 75. And I know this. If you want to make more money, get attached to revenue. You're not going to make more money because you do a better job. It's just not going to happen, man. It's just going to be a little drip every once in a while. You're going to make more money only when you bring a company either more customers or more revenue. You got to get attached to revenue to get more dough. Then once you start making enough money, maybe later pay the U.S. government if they even need the money by then, because who knows, maybe they'll shelve the whole program.
For 100, and I fully agree with you. And once I started focusing on profit producing activities, Grant, and I put those first and I had result rituals in place, it was a game changer, because once you have a lot of income coming in, confidence goes up, you can create partnerships, you could add more value, you have more customers, you can do more things for them. It's endless possibilities once you have the income. Yeah.
Go on the Shark Tank with any product, okay? The Shark Tank always goes the same way. My friend Mark Cuban's on there, you know, Mr. Wonderful's on there. They're always going to come back and ask you one question. What are your sales?
Yep.
Okay, whatever your idea is good. Sooner or later, they're going to say, "What'd you sell last? What'd you sell last year?" And most of the time, they're saying, "What? Well, I hadn't sold anything yet." But that's
but I have a big vision. They don't care about that.
I think things are going to get good.
Here's my funniest one that I hear. It's a $1 billion industry. Yeah, who cares? You're not making any money in it yet, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So now that you're on like the make more money 10X, I want to talk about the 10X philosophy. It's helped me in my life tremendously, and it's helped a lot of people I've taught that have studied it. Talk about the 10X philosophy and why it's not okay in this economy to try to incrementally improve over time, and what the 10X can really do for you.
Yeah, the 10X rule basically is a fourth in a line of books that I wrote since the Lehman collapse. I wrote 4 books after Lehman. The first book was called Sell or Be Sold, about the importance of sales to every organization, that everybody should be involved in sales. The owner of the company, the receptionist, the technology, IT guy, the website developer. Everybody needs to think in terms of what will this product do to increase sales. Then I wrote a second book called Closer Survival Guide. A third book, which was a New York Times bestseller, called If You're Not First, You're Last, which is full of strategies for marketing. And this book's called The 10X Rule. The 10X Rule basically was the missing component in these books about action. Like, look, if you really look over your life, the problems that most people have in their life are really, they're just the same problems over and over and over again. This is an issue. If you look at rich people have new problems, not old problems. Okay. You want to get a different set of problems. The middle class is actually trying to stay away from problems. People that don't do well in life actually try to avoid problems. They're trying to avoid problems. Look, money follows the solution to every problem. There's money. If you can solve problems, look for problems, add problems, get problems. The 10X rule is you need to take your goals that are this big and make them this big. And if you want to make $1 million, I want to show you how to make 10 million. If you want to make 10 million, I want to show you how to make 100 million. If you want to, the 10X rules, we're going to build $1 billion company. Like right now, because of this book, I created a strategy for me to build $1 billion real estate portfolio. I'm about a third of the way there actually right now, just short of a third of the way there. But my action plan is about how to go to a billion. Look, I don't need $1 billion, dude. Nobody needs $1 billion, okay? How to get there to build the strategy so that I end up someplace bigger than where I was thinking, and I don't end up with little small problems that just drag you down and are problematic anyway. Look, a small problem is a small problem. A big problem gets your attention.
That's huge.
I want big money problems, not little money problems.
And you talk about setting a goal of $1 million. You'd rather miss $1 million than hit 100K, correct?
Yeah. I'd rather miss $1 billion than get to 10 million. Okay, because if I miss $1 billion at any number, dude, I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm going to be real rich financially. Okay. So that would go for anything. Okay. If you think you need 100 customers, go for 1,000 customers. Build a plan and a strategy to get 1,000 customers, not 100. If you come up short on either one of those numbers, the 100 or the 1,000, which one are you better off at?
Yeah, definitely the 1,000.
Yeah.
100%.
More is better, except for those who don't have enough. More is always better, unless you're a drug addict.
Yeah. So for those people that are taught and ingrained in their head to where people want to set realistic goals, but goals that are somewhat attainable. So the point is to take it off the actual goal and on the effort, 10X your effort, 10X your attitude, 10X your mindset, to where don't focus on, oh no, I didn't hit the goal. Focus on shit, I made 500 grand versus 100 grand.
Who knows if it's unrealistic? I mean, this is something that's been passed on for generations now. Oh, don't set unrealistic goals.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know what's unrealistic? You can't tell me what I'm capable of. I know what I'm capable of. This has been the great, I thought because my dad died when I was 10, that the reason I had experienced grief through my life, I didn't discover this until I was like 42 years old, that I thought that because I lost my dad at an early age, that I was sad. That this was the reason I had grief in my life. That was not the reason I had grief. One day I discovered the reason I experienced grief in my life, a sadness, a prevailing sense of being sad that I no longer struggle with, was that I was not reaching for my full potential. Okay, I think that's what really bugs out most people. Like, your potential's up here and you're only delivering at this level. You know it. I may not know that about you, but you know that about you, and that bugs you out. So you don't like your job. You don't like your boss. You don't like your wife. You don't like your husband. You don't like your partner. You don't like where you're going. Because you know what? Every day you're reminded, dude, I could do this, but I'm not. I'm doing this. That's the problem with things that aren't good for you. Being unethical, that's the problem with that. It's not that it's a moral issue. It's that I don't know what you're doing unethical in your life. Everybody's doing something a little unethical, right? If you're not making that extra phone call, that's unethical. Doesn't have to be something illegal. So if I'm operating here, but I'm taking naps during the day, I know it. Now, if my potential's here and I'm here, dude, you take as many naps as you want. You're not going to feel bad about it.
I love that. And what I see a lot, Grant, I've trained thousands of sales reps, is I see people talk a lot about what they want and they have these ambitions, but they're not there yet. They don't have the money, but they still go out and party, or they still do things that
Pretenders,
are comfortable.
bro. Pretenders.
So
Look, there's pretenders and there's ballers. Okay. And then there's pretender ballers. Okay. I know people that just pretend, dude. They think they're good. They think they're great. I hear this as salespeople all the time. Oh, I'm good. Really? What the hell does that mean, bro?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have any money. You don't know what's going to happen this month. You good? Tell me how many you're going to do this month. How much money you're going to make this month. Tell me how many people you're going to get in front of. You tell me exactly what's going to happen to you this month, and that you have enough left over that you can go buy anything you want, invest how you want, that you got multiple flows of income come. How good are you? And by the way, is good where you want to stop? Okay, you go to the restaurant and they got good steak and they got some sick steak that's great. Which one you buying? Well, if you're on a budget, you buying good steak. Okay. You know, if which one you want to get, man? I want to be able to get the great one and not worry about it. In fact, I'd like to be able to buy great for everybody at the restaurant and walk out and say, hey, you guys have a great day.
That's huge. And that's just a perspective flip for people. So for those 5%, Grant, right now, the young hustlers that don't party, they're grinding Friday, Saturday nights. They maybe already made their first six figures at 18. That 10X, can you kind of create a tangible action step for them? Is it just work harder, make more calls? Is it reach out to higher level people? How can that person from right now really elevate their game at an extreme level?
You broke up kind of hard right there in that, but I think you're saying you're making 6 digits.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You're freezing up a little bit. We're losing this technology is still not perfect, but it's better than what we used to do, right?
Yeah.
So what I would tell that guy is, look, man, you got to get around some hitters now. Okay, you cannot. A guy told me recently, he's like, I got the same friends that I had when I was a kid. I'm like, do you bragging or complaining? And he's like, no, these are good friends of mine, bro. You know what? I know all those people I grew up with. They're still friends of mine. I hit them on Facebook every once in a while. I say to them, I'll go to a reunion but bro, those aren't the people that are going to take you to the next level. You can't, if you're in a sailboat, you don't use yesterday wins to get to wherever you're going tomorrow. You need some new friends, new guidance, new ideas, new possibilities, new think. You got to get yourself around new players. You can't, every time you hear any of these big hitters, way bigger than me, right? They all say the same thing. I got great people around me. They don't say, yeah, man, little Mikey, I grew up with little Mikey, and me and Mikey used to pick on the little girl around the corner, and we still buddies. I think the only person that claims that is LeBron James, and he's pulling it off. His whole entourage is from his neighborhood. But let's see if it lasts forever. I'll bet you one day LeBron reaches to another category. In fact, I'd bet you LeBron goes to Warren Buffett for his financial advice, not somebody he grew up with in school.
You know what's crazy? I just saw a picture of him, Grant, with Carlos Slim a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, there you go.
So you're right on that as well. And I love that too, where a lot of people, it's a belief, it's a parents instilled that, no, you got to have a lot of childhood friends. You got to stay with the people you met in high school and college. So there's a lot of myths and a lot of
there's so many
instilled in these kids.
Oh my God. So many things people are hanging on to, like I many people say they won't, I was offering a job position down here in Miami. He's got, oh my God, man, if you were in Michigan, I'd come work for you right away. I'm like, Michigan.
Yeah.
Girls and my wife. The fact that you're not willing to leave Michigan, pick your 2 kids up out of school, they're 6 and 8. The fact that you want to use your kids as an excuse not to move your ass 2,000 miles for an opportunity just tells me you could never work here.
Interesting. So you really, when you're looking for somebody,
I'll go anywhere. Okay.
You look for someone that's just an all-out attitude. And you talk about being obsessed a lot, Grant, too, becoming obsessed with what you want. Can you expand on just becoming obsessed with wealth? And if these millennials really want to become wealthy like they talk about, and even the people that are creating small wealth at a young age, becoming obsessed, I think, is going all out, working morning and night, surrounding yourself with people, going to masterminds, joining programs, but narrowing it in on things that actually produce results, correct?
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, I think the issue there is if obsessed is a bad word to you, you're not going to do it unless it's on the weekends.
Yeah.
But this is not a disease. It's not something to be labeled. Every great person that has walked this planet, done great things, has been labeled in the beginning, has been labeled by their haters, their resistors, to the people that envied them, was labeled obsessed, compulsive, overdoer, overachiever, work addict. Don't be a work addict. No, man, be a loaf addict. You know, see what happens is the great people are all categorized, labeled until one day everybody says, oh man. Well, let me tell you, every person that's done something great was obsessed with their greatness, was obsessed with the possibilities, was obsessed with their potential. And their obsession is what got them to finally be reckoned great.
And I think people need to come to grasp with that. And you talk about, too, I watched you on the Jamie Tardy, about just get out there, be everywhere, and then you're going to get criticized, and then you're going to become great after you get criticized once you get out there everywhere, because most people don't know about you. So can you talk about criticism and why that's a good thing? Why is criticism a good thing?
Yeah, because criticism is an indication that something has changed now in your in almost your molecular structure, that people are like, you know, if you've ever had somebody say, don't change, or you're ever going to a workshop or something and you're dating some girl and she's not going, or dating a guy and he's not going. And the big fear is that you're going to come back different, because people don't actually want you to change. Don't change, man. So what I'm telling people is, look, man, you got to get enough attention. First of all, the first problem to any entrepreneur, any business owner, or any salesperson, any hustler is attention. You could be a hustler, but if you're not getting anybody's attention, you're never going to get their money. So you'll be the guy that hustles. Yeah, any doors today? Yeah, I called on this many people today. Yeah, but dude, nobody saw you. If nobody sees you, nobody knows you, nobody pays you. So the first thing you got to do is get attention. You got to get a lot of attention. When you start getting a lot of attention, the right amount of attention will always result in criticism. Mom, dad, brother, sister, somebody ain't gonna like the rubber band getting stretched. Somebody is gonna say, hey man, you shouldn't eat Oreos doing today, whatever, you know? So somebody's gonna criticize you. What you need to do is keep doing what you're doing until those people actually start really getting jacked up about it. Because that's called a hater. Haters promote you. Haters, I tweeted something. I'm at Grant Cardone on Twitter, and I tweeted something last night, and this lady tweeted me back. And the next thing she tweeted me again and says, my God, I tweeted your name. I had so many people hit me so fast, some of which was negative. I'm like, yeah, that makes me interesting. See, haters are not something you don't want. They're something you need to get to the next level. You need haters. You got to have them because they push and promote and make you and your business more interesting.
And then after haters, what comes next?
Admiration, baby.
There we go.
Admiration. Look, if I could get half of the United States of America to hate my guts,
you're president.
I could be the president.
There we go. That's funny, man. I want to, on the topic of just what we've been talking about as far as the youth and the messed up beliefs, I want to read some stats to you, and you just tell me your thoughts on these. Forbes says 70% of people right now hate what they're doing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I lost you. You froze completely, bro.
Okay. How do I look frozen?
Oh, you look good, man. You know what? It might be the movement. It might be the movement. If you don't move, it might. I think the camera's trying to figure out where you are.
Got it. I'm too quick. All right. So I want to read some stats to you, and I want you to tell me your thoughts. Forbes says 70% of Americans can't stand what they do.
I missed that again. Sorry.
70% of Americans can't stand what they do and are disengaged. And America right now ranks number one in depression and mental health problems. And also the average tuition is higher than it's ever been, but the average income a student makes at the end of graduation is at an all-time low. And right now, 60% of students can't find work. Now, I talked to Gary Vaynerchuk about this, and to be honest, he said the world just lacks hustle. You talk about hustle too. What do those stats mean to you, and how can we fix this stuff?
Well, Gary's wrong on that. Okay, the world does not lack hustle. Okay, Gary absolutely wrong on that, and I love Gary, but you'll never find a 2-year-old that doesn't have hustle. 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old. You know what happens as they age? They get socialized and miseducated with myth. Okay, and then prescribed drugs and labeled with problems. Okay, we are the most overprescribed. There were 200 million pain medications delivered last quarter to 311 million people. Those are pain medications. That's not all the psychotropic antidepressants. I'm just talking about pain, dude. Just pain. Now, we are overprescribed. And this is something I'm really passionate about, because it's really two groups of people that are getting penalized with these overprescriptions: the aging population and the youth. The youth is getting freaking killed with your depressant, your ADD. OCAD, your ADD, ADHD. I said, dude, that's all bullshit. There is not one shred of proof about any of that stuff. I don't care what you think. It's like you said, man, I had a cup of coffee before this. I was already hyped up. I'm like, dude, you're going to be all right. There's no way coffee can change the decision for you to deliver at what rate. I don't have ADD. I had a guy in my office tell me, you got ADD. I said, dude, I ain't got ADD. I ain't got any attention for you. The reason I got attention on 16 other things right now, and you're not one of them, is because your freaking presentation sucks. So when anybody tells you got some kind of ADD, ADHD, prove it to me. Show me what I got, dog. These ain't diseases. It's a gift, bitch. Okay? I'm doing great. I got the hustle on, bro. And so when Gary says we lack hustle, no. People are being being encouraged and educated to be lazy. People are being paid to be lazy today. People are being authorized to be lazy. When you start labeling things like work addiction, how the hell is work an addiction? That is just freaking ridiculous, dude. Work is one of the most spiritually connected, most positive things a human being can do. But therapists, and the psychological, the psychiatric community, they get paid $200 an hour to tell people like me and you that we got a problem. Yeah. And it's not a problem, dude. They get paid to medicate people and confuse people. I don't have a problem. I don't have a disease. I'm obsessed. I admit it. I want to be successful for myself, my family, and my community. In fact, I demand success as my duty and my obligation. I don't have a disease, dude. I have a right. I have a responsibility, not a disease. And that is what's causing the lack of hustle in people today.
That's great, man. And the pharmaceutical companies are making billions. So
they're doing well. They don't make billions. They spend billions just to advertise their products. They're making trillions.
Yeah. Wow, man. And I've had a couple game changers a part of my program, and a lot of people, I posted if you had questions for Grant. A lot of them asked income streams. How many separate streams of income do you generate, and how do you know when to delegate operations of one business versus taking it on yourself? Like, how do you prioritize your attention? I think that's a really good question that people have these days, of how do you kind of delegate and prioritize your bubusinesses? Because you have more than one.
Yeah, I don't think too much about delegation. I think in terms of our prioritizing things. Look, I know what my overall mission is. And if you know what your overall mission is and really clear about what it is, then you are going to know which activities and which projects to delegate and which ones to prioritize. All right. So At my house, me and my wife know exactly what we're doing. Even the 4-year-old and the 2-year-old have been clued into the game. So, don't think that a 2-year-old doesn't understand what the hell we're doing. They know what candy is. They know what a croissant is. At 2 years old, baby, you want the bagel or you want the croissant? 2 years old, croissant. I want the croissant. Well, you know what she could also know? She's also being educated about what $1 billion will do for her. She's also being educated about, hey, we want to get to this many apartments. So just because somebody's 2 years old doesn't mean they don't know. I need to get the whole family, everybody pushing. And my family might be extended beyond just my kids and my wife, but to my group. So everybody's thinking the same thing. Everybody's going the same way. We don't get everything done every day. There's many days where I don't get nearly, I don't know. I'm looking at Paulie right now. I'm like, how many projects do we have that have been sitting there for months and months unfinished? A bunch, a lot. Sometimes they get to be more and more all the time. And when they become a priority, when they become important enough to change the game here, game changer, then I'll get them done. So I don't think there's any order to this. I don't think there's some science. Look, go get the big bone first. The big bone with the biggest freaking meat, got the most freaking juice in it. Get that one, bring it, bury it in the backyard, and then go get you another one, dog.
That's extremely important to realize, because a lot of people see someone like you who's making the millions like, oh, he probably has everything perfectly delegated, systems and all these people. So it's pretty crazy.
Systems. I ain't got no systems here, dog. You know what the system is? The system is 10X. The system is go crazy. There's no CRM. There's no piece of software. There is nothing you can automate or robot that is going to replace passion, excitement, being willing to be there at the helm, being willing to get tired. This is what your generation just can get encouraged about, and we'll shut it off here in a second. But look, everybody has the ability. There is no trick to the game except knowing what you want and being relentless, dude, no matter what, friends, family, whatever. You might have to leave some people behind you, bro. They'll come get you later when you get famous. Shit, they'll all come get you. They'll hate you for about 10 years and then later say, oh, I always knew you were going to be successful. Yeah, you were the kid punching me out in high school. Okay, right? Yeah, now they want to come hang out with me in Miami Beach.
I love it, man. And I am very excited to get this out because I think it's going to create some amazing conversation and controversy and just different types of people talking about the things we talked about. And I think it'll spark some people, man. I think it'll spark the next generation to really get out there and start grinding.
Beautiful. And you know what I'd like to do for all of you, the people that follow you and your show, and I appreciate what you do. If they go, I'm going to set up a link, grantcardonesuccess.com. Okay. If they put in their first name, last name, and their email,
Grant, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm gonna.
Did I freeze it up?
Yeah, go ahead again. I wanted to. Yeah, go ahead and share. You set it up for our group. I appreciate that. So it's grantcardonesuccess.com.
Yeah, go to grantcardonesuccess.com. All we need is your first name, last name, and you get you set up on a weekly strategy so you can blow your business up 10 times.
And then Young Hustlers, you're all over YouTube, right? Just should they subscribe to Young Hustlers or just your channel?
Yeah, no, just go to my YouTube channel, YouTube Grant Cardone, and you'll see there's 1,200 videos there, dude. If you're ever feeling down and out, you're ever a little lost, if the psychiatrist ever says you're obsessive compulsive, you got ADD, come see Dr. G. Come see Dr. G because I'll straighten your shit out quick.
I love it, man. Well, hey, Grant, it was an honor, and I wanted to let you know I have massive respect for what you do, man, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you more and building a relationship. And really, I love the legacy you've created. So I want to thank you again for your time. And I know your schedule is packed and crazy. So appreciate anything I could do to help you add value. Let's get this interview out there. Let's go change the game, my friend.
You got it, Peter. Thank you so much for your time, buddy.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Be great.
All right, see you.